Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. Today I want to talk about some lies that kept me from starting YouTube. I think a lot of us may have that dream to have a business on YouTube, potentially make it and find success in that field. There's a lot of things that prevented me from starting, and yeah, I just want to talk about that and be honest about it. The first thing is the idea that YouTube is oversaturated. So it's no surprise, like there's a lot of people on YouTube. This is very true. But, just remember the name of the website. It's YouTube. It's UTV. YouTube is essentially the decentralization of media. And I can't believe YouTube is only 20 years old. It came out in 2005 in February. So like 20 years ago last month. Crazy. But like everyone uses YouTube for everything these days. Entertainment, education, information, learning how to do basic things. Even mainstream media sources and TV channels, they all have YouTube channels now because they know they'd be missing out on a huge portion of the market of customers. Having cable TV, it's just way more rare these days. Like I barely watch anything on TV, like besides YouTube on my physical TV. YouTube is still new in the grand scheme of things in the, broader historical sense. There are new niches of content that people seem to be pioneering every year. The internet itself, it hasn't been around that long, at least the public use of it. But like, could you even imagine life without it in 2025? It's only been around for a few decades. We need it for connecting with people. We need the internet for navigation. We never go anywhere without our phones, which, we use those on the internet daily. I recently watched the original iPhone presentation, and that was from 2007, so only 2 years after YouTube. Steve Jobs comes out and announces probably the most revolutionary product we've had in a while. Like smartphones at that time really sucked. You remember like BlackBerry, other phones like that. I can't remember exactly the names, but the first few iPhones kind of sucked as well, but they changed the world. I think my first iPhone was the 4S. Yeah, because the first few iPhones were only like AT&T and Singular, but then they expanded to Verizon and Sprint later. And yeah, I got the 4S probably like 2010, maybe 2012 actually. But like now everyone uses iPhones or some kind of smartphone, Samsung or Google also have good phones as well. And everyone watches YouTube on their phone. And also like pretty much anyone can be a YouTuber from their phone. You can document your life. You have a good quality camera on there, an internet connection, like you're good. You can start something and people, they're going to tune in. You're going to have some kind of message that resonates with people most likely. And that kind of bleeds into the second lie that kept me from starting, and that is that I'm not interesting or that I don't really have any value to provide on the internet. I guarantee that, like me, you have skills that you're using at your job or some kind of hobby that you enjoy. For me, I'm a musician. I have a decent amount of experience in things like finance. I really like nutrition and health. I have a pretty good understanding of those things. But yeah, there are things I'm good at that other people aren't, and they're looking to be more informed on. And that's one of the things that YouTube is for these days. Chances are there's probably someone searching on YouTube looking how to do that very thing that you're an expert in, or at least you have some knowledge in. I was surprised at the response to my recent video about investing. I feel like it was a very basic story of how I learned just simplicity in investing. But yeah, people comment, they ask, and they're like, I have a similar story, but how do I do this? How do I start a Roth IRA? Like people comment and you respond, and they appreciate that. There's things that people want to learn about that you know about. Even if you think you're not an expert in something and you won't really provide any value, like I'm sure that there are unique experiences you've had in your life that no one else has had. We all have like, the same like general life experience and stuff, but there are unique things that we're going to go through, and like, you can share those things with people. You're going to have a unique angle. Just tell that story and see what works. The third lie I believed is that I'm bad at speaking. As with any of my skills, I think it's just practice makes perfect, man. Like there's no way around it. You have to try and fail again, because you're going to learn from it. Don't fear rejection. If you see your first few videos get less than 10 views, and that was me this last week, like there's nothing wrong with you necessarily. You might just need a better thumbnail or title. And like there are people on YouTube who are terrible at speaking. They fumble their words all the time. and they don't necessarily edit it out. There's so much stuttering and stammering and breathing that gets left in the editing. People don't really care about that most of the time. Like it's YouTube. Who's critiquing your 1080p footage? Audio is pretty important, so make sure people can like understand what you're saying. Put subtitles in if you need to. But if you're not the best at physically speaking, like you don't need to worry about that at first. You're going to learn. This is only like my 7th or 8th video, like I said, but man, the quality of this one, it's way better than the first. You learn a lot each time you fail and practice. And also if you're making like audio commentaries, like your voice is going to get more used to being utilized over time. It's going to be easier to talk into the mic, man. You'll probably also get better at, going off script, being more spontaneous, not needing to read directly what you're going to say. Me personally, I like to write down what I'm going to say. Generally, I'm really good at articulating what I want to say in writing, so I do like to chart it out. And if you have to do that, like don't worry about it. But I definitely have gotten better at going off spontaneously. I think the best videos that really get views and people stick around for, they're often like less professional, less scripted. They're not like totally crap quality, but people really value genuine honesty these days. The raw experience, not like ultra edited fake nonsense like you would see on typical social media or traditional media like the news. You also don't even have to speak on YouTube. You can have AI generated voices. You can just type in scripts and have AI say what you want to say. Like people still like that. If it's informative, if it's providing them value, they're going to click on it. The fourth lie that I believed is that I'm not made for success. And maybe this is something you should actually ask yourself. Like, do you actually want success? Do you wrestle with that idea? That's a tough one. I think part of me would say like, I never wanted to be successful because I don't want to be famous. I don't want a lot of money. I'm not designed for that. I wouldn't know what to do with it. A lot of people say that, money is the root of all evil. And that's just a misquoted verse from the Bible. It actually says the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. And in the context of the verse there, like I think Paul is talking more about those who want stuff, consumerism mind, those who desire to be rich fall into a snare, he says. And, the concept is we need to be content with food and clothing, the things that we have. Yeah, don't pursue money for the sake of consumption. Like be content with what you have. Practicing contentment is going to be great for your life, but be driven to achieve your goals. I'm a man who wants a woman and kids someday, and the world is expensive, and I feel the need to be a strong husband and father, and a huge part of that is being a provider and protector. God has given men that role in the family, like you lead and love your family. Everyone has to have a relationship with money, whether you like it or not. All of us use it on a daily basis. It shouldn't be an option in your mind to allow yourself to be bad with money, just like your health as well. I think there are definitely poor people who love money way more than rich people. And you can tell because there's poor people who still play the lottery, try to get rich quick. They're trying to make a quick buck. But you're telling me that like someone who has a lot of money but diligently invested over time is a lover of money and they're in the wrong? Like, no, they live a modest lifestyle. They provided a lot of value in the world, slowly built things up over time, and they just acted wisely with what God gave them. And if you understand like how money works, you don't need to fear success. Success is going to come to those who are on mission, living intentionally, providing value to others in the world. And the fifth lie that kept me from starting YouTube is that my job is sufficient, that I'm happy with just my 9 to 5. Guys, my job, it's okay. I don't hate it, but I don't want to be at a 9 to 5 forever. And jobs don't pay enough. Like no job pays enough in my opinion. I don't want a promotion. I don't want to become salaried where I have to just, slave away just for $80,000 a year, just to be owned by someone else. I don't need another 25-cent raise to be happy. I want financial independence. I want the ability to do what I want when I want. I want to create a job for myself, not be enslaved and chained to another man's vision. YouTube can be that right there, a business that you can work on from anywhere. It won't be easy. It's not easy making these videos. Like editing can be difficult sometimes, speaking, it's tough. And being transparent on the internet about yourself, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But I know that the work is going to be worth it. Even if I fail, at least I learned something and I know what to do next time. Someone asked me the other day what my dream job is. I don't think I have a dream job. I think the dream is working out of want and not out of need. When you don't have to be at work for money, work is a lot more enjoyable. You're there creating and providing value because you want to be there. That's a much more fulfilling life than living paycheck to paycheck and not being able to do anything about it because you're broke. And that's what YouTube has been for me these past couple weeks, is trying to provide value to people who, want to learn these things, want to become a better man and develop themselves and live intentionally. For me, I know that there has to be a lot more meaning in my life than just to work for someone else for 40 years and then die. So if you're listening to this, let me remind you, at the recording of this video, I have like 7 subscribers, but I'm out here trying to, put in the work, and we'll see what happens. You can start as well. There are unique experiences that you can tell the world about. There's going to be people who will enjoy hearing about it, man. Just press record and see. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be with your iPhone. Maybe the algorithm favors you and it changes your life. Who knows if you don't try. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment about the lies and limiting beliefs that you've been telling yourself. If you want to start YouTube, would love to hear about it. Take care, guys. Peace.